Hi there, and welcome to our training today related to the Scottsdale Phoenix Light the World giving machines. This training is specifically for our hosts and volunteers who will be working on site with the individual giving machine, as well as the surrounding areas. Today's goals are to provide the stake leads as well as machine hosts and volunteers some training and understanding in the purpose and process of the machines, as well as a little bit about what to expect when you're a volunteer or host at the machine, which will include machine basics for maintenance, cleaning, stocking, and opening and closing at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. Because the machines will be including a couple of areas where people can interact with making a memory about the machine, taking photos, and sharing the why they chose their specific charities to donate to. There will be a few different opportunities for hosts and volunteers, and we'll discover and discuss that today. We'll also talk to you about troubleshooting and how to handle maintaining, loading, cleaning, and any problems that may come up with the machine. And of course, you don't need to memorize everything we're going to talk about today, because we'll also give you some information on how you can communicate with your stake leads and also with those of us who are here to support you as you serve at the machines. To get started, many of you volunteers and hosts have signed up to serve at giving machines in the past, but we wanted to take a moment to recognize that Light the World is a global Christmas initiative of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, with a purpose to give people opportunity and encourage them to share the light of Christ by showing love to others, lifting them where they are, and uniting communities through faith-like experiences and Christ-like service to others. The giving machines themselves are a very unique and easy way for families, neighbors, friends to gather. They're a fun and memorable way for people to come and choose to serve others in a very unique way that's easy and fun during this holiday season. This year, our Scottsdale Phoenix giving machines are located in the Desert Ridge Mall. In the past, we've had two other great locations in the city of Glendale, but this year we're located in Phoenix at the Desert Ridge Mall, which is found at 21001 North Tatum Boulevard. The QR code that you see here in this training slide is something that you can take a photo of and use on the day that you're volunteering to help you get directions. Specifically, the Desert Ridge Mall area is quite large, but part of that mall is called the District, and this is the main hub where mall stores and the theater and some restaurants and entertainment areas are. And our giving machine is found right near the Nike store in the front of it, across from the fountains and across from a main entrance, just a little ways away from the lighted Christmas tree. It's going to be a very busy and active area, and we feel really blessed to have the machines right there along a sidewalk where people will be walking by. A little bit more about the layout. Now, we will send some pictures and messages and late instructions through stake leads to all volunteers and hosts. This basically shows you the layout from the beginning as people walk up to the machines and across the machine area. As we mentioned, the Nike store will be the backdrop to the machines as people come up on the sidewalk and they walk by a restaurant area. An open area across has a lot of seating. It's a grass area, lighted. There are chairs and tables there, and we want to remind people not to move chairs from there, but of course you can go and sit and visit that area. As people walk up, there will be some areas where you'll see lighted trees that are part of the landscape of the district. And then you'll notice some things that are related to the giving machine. First, there will be an area where a small stage will be identified with a red carpet and lights. And this is where those who are volunteering to do entertainment will be able to come and entertain those who are visiting the area or visiting the machines. Others will be able to walk up. We'll have stanchions, which are the lane lines or ropes that will lead up to the machines. And we'll also have some information for people as they're in line and approach the machines, QR codes that take them to a video that tells them all about some of those charities that are both local, state, and global charities in the machine. Once people have been able to engage with the machines, maybe make a selection and make a purchase that is a donation, they will then move along into an area where they'll be able to take a photo using maybe paddles that show a larger picture of the items they chose to purchase as a donation. And we invite them to share that with friends and family, as well as on their social media. There's also going to be a tell us your why table. And this is a place where they can stop and make a memory, write a little note about the charity that they chose to serve. Maybe we'll have them write their why they chose to come today to the Giving Machine. And we'll be sharing those stories with our historian, but also with the charities that are being served in the machines. Some key dates that you might want to know about for the Giving Machines are the setup and delivery. The machines will arrive sometime on December 8th. And on December 8th and 9th, we'll be setting them up. We'll be getting them connected to power, decorating the area as we showed you in the setup. And then on the 9th, we'll be doing some practice, making sure the machines are connected to their Wi-Fi and that purchases are working. The first scheduled day at the machine is December 10th, and thank you to our Buckeye Steak, who is going to be hosting on that day. There will be a couple of days before the actual ribbon cutting ceremony, which will be on December 13th, and our host there will be Goodyear Steak. This is just a really exciting opportunity where we involve all of those of you who are helping at the machine to join. We invite city and state leadership, representatives from the machine, and those local leadership to come and help us celebrate with a ribbon cutting of the machines officially opening. But as we said, we are getting a head start on December 10th. Our Goodyear Steak volunteers will be there during the ribbon cutting if they are part of the morning shift, and you'll get some more instructions on site how you'll be helping with that. On to a little bit about your stake leads. Each stake lead has been selected to work with their High Council representative and their stake leadership to do two things. One is to help support you as volunteers and hosts, and the other is to work with those who are going to be doing entertainment. In relation to your role as a host or volunteer, they will attend training so that they know what to expect of volunteers and can support you. They'll also help, as I mentioned, provide you with any follow-up information related to the space, the layout, information that you might need to know about parking, all of those things. And some of that we have to actually wait till the machines are set up to send out. So you're going to want to watch on either the 9th or the 10th for an email from your stake lead that will tell you just a little bit more about what you need to know. They'll also provide updates. If there are updates to location adjustments, or maybe it's the way we're setting up or taking down machines at the end of the day, we're going to make sure that before your assigned day, your stake lead sends you some communication. We also invite you to communicate with your host, and we'll talk a little bit about that on your assigned day or throughout your day, so that if there are any concerns, issues, timing issues, if someone that is coming to replace you is not there yet, you'll be able to know if they're running late, or you'll be able to let someone know that that person hasn't arrived. In addition to that, our Light the World committee has several different committee members that are dedicated to specific ways to support the machines, the space in the area, the entertainment, and you as hosts. We are Doug and Shelley King, and our number is here, and Todd and Misty Erickson, and their number is here. Now, you don't need to write this down or memorize it, because we will talk in a little bit about the binder that will be in the back of one of the machines, and it will have all of the information we're going to talk about today, but also the contact information. Okay, so a little bit more about your role. As hosts or volunteers, one thing you're going to want to do is confirm that you remember your shift and that you will be in attendance with your stake lead. And they're going to let you know how they want that. You can either email them, or they may have texted you or emailed you from a roster that they will have of their volunteers and give you instructions on how to let them know that. This just lets them know that you will be there and on site. When you arrive on site, you can reach out to them if there are any questions that you have, concerns, or you need to know how to do something. Also, something else you want to be is to be ready and understand, for those of you who are opening, how do you set up for the day? We've given you kind of an example of that layout, and that binder we talked about is going to have a checklist that you'll follow. So if you're working that first shift of the day, that 10 to 12, you may be asked to do those things, and we're going to talk a little bit further about that. Of course, as a volunteer host and lead, you're going to understand a little bit more about the actual operation of each machine, and then also managing the inline experience for guests. So just the answering questions, being available to them. We'll talk a little bit more about that in deepness, but one thing we want to mention is you're not necessarily responsible for any concerns that come up in the area or emergencies that arise. We want you to know that Desert Ridge Security is there to support you with that and resolve it. And in the binder, there will be contact for them as well. If you have any issues like that, you can contact them first and then reach out to your stake lead and make them aware. Those who are going to be doing the 8 to 10, that last shift of the day, will have some responsibilities that are related to site closing as well. And then, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can share the spirit of Light the World Genuinely to those who visit the machine, share with them, and just update their experience in Lyme and make it a great experience. We also pray and hope for a really great experience for you as hosts and volunteers. One thing we want to remind you is that when someone is hosting at the machine, those that are hosting physically at the machine, when it's time for someone to get some support with making purchases or help with the transaction side of it, that needs to be an adult 18 years or older. So that is just the, according to the handbook for our machines. Now that doesn't mean if someone's under 18, they can't be there with an adult who is helping them as they volunteer. But there does need to be one adult at the machine who's helping with that machine transaction. And then our younger guests stay between 14 and 18. They can help at the Tell Us Your Why table. They can help with taking photos, and they can be at the machine and answering questions and greeting people, just not helping with the transaction. We mentioned that the space and area is going to have two of these unique areas. There's a lot for you to read here, and most of these instructions, again, will be in the checklist and in the binder. So this just tells you a little bit about what's needed at the photo opportunity area. There will be these paddles that are like a foam board, and it essentially will look like a larger edition of the cards that are in the machine that drop that represent the items purchased. And these are paddles that are on like paddle sticks, and people can hold them up as they want to show which charity they purchased items for and what items did they purchase. And then you can offer to help them get a picture of their group in front of the backdrop or the machine if they wish, and then assist them with getting those paddles. And then just reorganizing the area before and after. You can then invite them to post their photo to friends and family or share it with the historian through the Tell Us Your Why table. And then a big thing we would love is for people to post their photos and memories on social media, and there will be a QR code to the Facebook and Instagram pages of our machines. There's both the statewide machines and global machine websites and social media, so they can post to that and share their experience, and it just really helps others see that spirit of giving. The Tell Us Your Why table will have some writing materials that we will want you to keep stocked and available, and then just explain to them that they can stop and document the why they donated, maybe why they selected a specific charity, explain the purchase of that. And we want to invite you here on the screen, and we'll have it there as well with a QR code and a link. We actually have a historian who, from the beginning of our machines, for us in the West Valley, has been keeping the history of the unique experiences, the miracles, and specifically what's wonderful is sometimes people get to experience the miracle of seeing their machine purchase in action through a charity. And so it's just a great opportunity to gather those miracles and memories and preserve them. So we invite people also to share their picture and share a little bit of a story with our historian. Okay, one of the biggest things that you'll be doing at the machine is just watching and taking care of the machine. So we're going to talk for the next few minutes about machine operations. I do want to mention that the giving machines are very much everything like a vending machine. The biggest difference is when a person stands at the machine to select, they're seeing cards that look like items that drop down into the bin, but they're selecting gifts of service and charity to others. So the purchase that they make will actually purchase an item that helps somebody. Maybe it's a meal, maybe it's an infant care kit, maybe it's a month in a shelter. There's so many different amazing gifts that really are truly purchasing miracles to someone else. And so we're going to talk about how we can help maintain the machine, as on occasion it just needs some care and maintenance to keep it going. Okay, to our opening shift. Again, we want to make sure that you understand you do not have to memorize any of this, because the binder that will be in the back of machine 1, and we notate that as the machine on the left, each cabinet or each machine has a cabinet on the back. And in the back of that machine, you just unlock it, and we'll talk a little bit about the lock, and open the doors, and all the supplies are there. In machine 1 will be the volunteer binder and the badges, and one to 2 of those badges actually has a key to the front of the machine, which is key, and we'll talk about that. The first group of the morning will go out to the trailer, and your early instructions from your lead, once the trailer is set and the machines are set, we'll share that with you, will be located in the parking lot. And there will be a wagon and a bin. You see the image of that. And with the wagon and the bin, you'll use that wagon to carry a couple tables and the bin to the giving machine area. Inside the bin will be all of the things needed for the Tell Us Your Why table and the photo op area. And so you'll set that up with the tablecloths, tables, items, pictures, QR codes, and then you'll just store that bin under the table. Then you can also store the wagon under the table as well. And then you'll get started with the day. In some situations, the machine might need to be cleaned or stocked. Most of the time, the evening before will do that, but that may be part of your morning routine. To get to the back of the machine, as we mentioned, there are locks. The locks are actually installed upside down. So when we say 1820, you'll start at the bottom and work your way up. And all you will do is set each number and then turn the knob. And on the giving machine, we'll have a small little sign that will help you with that as well in the binder, and instructions with the video will be sent through your stake lead. It's a little bit tricky on the back of the machine because you need to make sure the numbers line up and then gently turn it to the left, and you'll see it go from red to green, and the doors will be able to be open. And of course, closing it is exactly the same. You want to make sure that the first door, the door on the left, is closed first, and the right goes right on top of it. They're a little bit like a unique cabinet door where they have to be set flush before you can lock the lock. And to lock the lock, you're just going to turn it back to the right till you get to the red and then scramble the code. Those doing the morning will need to determine, do they need to refill and clean the machine, and then make sure all the stanchions and everything is placed the way it needs to be, and essentially you're ready to go. As we mentioned, the evening shift that closes is invited also to stock and clean, just in case someone comes late night. So you may arrive and feel like that doesn't need to be done, and a later shift can do that for you. Also, just a little bit about when you're in the opening shift, you may be cleaning the machine, and we're going to watch a couple videos right after this one. What is it? What do you need to do to clean the machine, to open the machine, and all of those things. We will stock the back of each of the machines with those supplies for cleaning. So you may need to check to see if those need to be updated, and you can go out to the trailer and get some. Most likely, we'll keep those stocked and updated for you. As we mentioned, in order to clean or stock the machine, you'll need the lanyard that has the key on it. So we kind of recommend that one of your volunteers on your shift have the lanyard key and leave the other one in the cabinet. You can use it if needed, but that means nobody accidentally takes home both keys. And we want to remind everyone wants to be wearing a lanyard, but for sure one of the volunteers wants to have that with the key.
Use only glass cleaner. You can spray directly onto the glass, but do not spray directly onto the touchscreen. Instead, use a damp paper towel or soft cloth. To open a machine, insert the key, turn to the right, and a T-shaped handle will come out. Twist the handle to the left and the door will open. The only areas that need cleaning are the inside of the door and bottom tray. Use a cleaner like Windex and a paper towel or soft cloth. Do not spray near lights, wires, or electronics.
Okay, so we're just going to take a moment to review the video. And also, again, want to remind you that you do not have to have the videos memorized, because in our binder for volunteers, there will be some cards and they'll have QR codes on them. Those QR codes will be labeled and they will take you directly to the video. So if you're at the machine and you want to clean or restock, you can just follow along with the video if you'd like. It is very simple though. As the video mentions, you're going to use the key to open the door. You may want to clean the front of it before you open the door, and you always want to spray only the towel before you wipe the keypad. We don't want to be spraying anywhere near the electronics. And the same as when you have the machine open. You can spray the back of the door pretty easily and wipe that down. But often it's not that dirty on the inside, so just the damp cloth will do. And the only thing you want to wipe on the inside of the machine is the inside of that door. And if the area where the bins is gets a little bit dirty from people stocking and moving the cards around, you can wipe that down too. It'll have a nice look and a shine. But you don't want to wipe down any of the other areas because there is technology and wiring in that open door area. Now, before we move on to talk about and watch the videos related to restocking the machine, we'll just talk a little bit about what you want to know before you do that. That bin that you use to bring all the items, or that the first shift used to bring items to the table in the morning, is going to be the bin you want to use to place the cards in as you sort them. So you only want to do one machine at a time. We want to make sure that one machine is always operating and going. That also prevents you from accidentally mixing cards between the machines. Each of the machines has a very unique layout of their cards, and the binder will have machine 1 and machine 2. It will show you literally a map of the top row, the second row, the third row, and they will be slightly different. And the reason for that is each of the charities, we want them to have a different space in the machine so that they have opportunity to have a little bit more of that bird's eye view, and some will have to be at top and bottom, but the second machine, they'll be rotated. So if you feel you need to have those maps out, make sure you match it to the machine, and then when you're ready, you grab that bin and you open the machine, and just the bottom of the machine where cards have fallen, you're going to scoop those out and you're going to put them in the bin. And if it's not raining and it's not that full, you may not need to open the bin and put them in. You could just use it as a table for you to stock all of the cards. And what you can do is sort them then by row and charity, and then by category. Once you have them sorted, now you're ready to actually put them in the trays. And we're going to watch those videos, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. A couple things that you need to know is we always share with people that you do not have to fill it all the way to the very back. And in some cases, the top rows, it's very difficult to get the cards into the back. and it's hard to get them straight. So you can leave those out and actually leave a handful of cards at the bottom of the machine in the bin where you took them out of, and it just makes the machine look active and like people have come and made purchases. Also, most of the cards that are sent to come to the giving machine from Salt Lake do fill the rows, but there are a few that are above $100, and because those are purchased less, we only have 10 cards in a row. So don't panic if you have some rows that have less. We're going to watch those videos. They're going to move kind of quick, but we'll talk about them on the other side.
To restock the machines, please follow these steps. First, after opening the machine, pull all the cards out from the bottom. Second, sort the cards according to the charity into stacks. Third, restock each tray starting from the back until all cards are replaced. Repeat until all trays are restocked. For outdoor locations, you may want to consider using bins to collect and stack the cards to keep them from getting wet. Using your thumbs, pull down the black latches on both sides of the shelf. Lift and pull until the tray slides out enough to be naturally hanging.
Okay, so a couple of things that you noticed. So in order to unlock the front, you will need that lanyard with the key, and you'll just open the door and then begin to gather the cards. You see that it's very easy to just lift up and pull those sides of the tray and bring them down. It can be a little bit alarming at first when you see the tray hanging the way it does, but it does that so that it's easier to load and it won't fall down. But one thing you notice is all the cards are evenly stocked right in their little spiral channel that comes down. If they've been improperly stocked and they're tipped a little bit one way to the other, it can cause the machine to jam in that row and the cards won't drop. And if that happens, you can reassure the person that made that purchase that the purchase is still good, the cards just did not drop. But you're going to want to immediately go and open the door and check to see, is it because one of the cards is tipped, and then straighten those. And so that's why it's really important as you do one tray at a time, one item at a time, that you make sure all of the cards are nice and straight before you put it back up. And we're going to watch them close the machine and put the tray back. And you're just going to want to do that gently as well. You'll know that the tray is back in its place because those two levers at the side that you push down to lift the tray and bring down click back into place. So that's how you know that the machined trays have been put back in place. We have found that it's easier to start again with the lower trays and work your way up. And again, lots of taller people to help with the top trays, but you don't have to put those cards all the way to the back in the way the video describes, because sometimes it's that last card that makes it a bit hard to get in straight if it's crowded and it's hard to get your fingers in there. And so start from the back forward, but maybe leave that last card out. We're going to watch how to put the tray back, and then we'll talk again on the other side.
Using both hands, slide the tray back into the machine until it stops. Once the tray is almost in, you will then need to lift the two small wheels at the front of the tray up and over a guard that keeps the tray in place. After closing the door securely, twist the T-shaped handle to the right until it is vertical and push into the housing until it locks. You do not need to close and lock the machine with a key. If the door is difficult to close, you might need to put your body weight into the door while locking.
Okay, so a couple things you noticed is that the key can be pulled out after the machine is open because you won't need it. And it actually can cause issues with trying to lock it if it's in place. So you want to lock it without the key in place. And as he mentioned, once all the trays are in place, the door will shut flush. But that mechanism that gives it that last click sometimes does need a little pressure just below the keypad area with the knee or with the body, and then you can turn and push it in. If the door is not properly closed, or if there's something in the way jamming it, it will not twist and pop into place, which means then the credit card machine and the mechanism that makes it operate will not be connected. And so you'll need to check and make sure there's not something in the way or that you have shut it correctly. Okay, so very rarely does the machine malfunction. A few times we've had issues with maybe a little bit of weather or power, and that is a simple fix. Sometimes if the machine loses its Wi-Fi for a little bit, the credit card reader or the machine will not be connected to the Wi-Fi, and that is an easy fix. One thing I want to remind you again is that in the machine there will be a troubleshooting guide that just walks you through steps to take before you move on to maybe calling for help. And we're going to watch videos on that. And that's, again, a checklist in the binder. So you're going to follow those procedures. You can even follow the QR code if you want, or the steps, whichever you're comfortable with. And then if you have any other concerns or it's not working, you can let your stake lead know. And what they will do is also reach out to us, and we can put some action in place to help. But also know that there is a 1-800 number that you could call. They're open 24/7. And they will actually walk you through step by step if you've missed anything that could be causing the malfunction, or they can actually help by logging in and reconnecting to the machine. So you have people that you can call that can walk you through that. We'll also have these numbers in the binder, but posted in the door of the back of the machine.
If a machine needs to be turned on or off, unlock and open the machine. Once open, look for a black on and off switch on the lower right side column of the machine. Sometimes the credit card reader in the machine will stop working. To reset, turn off the entire machine and let sit for 10 seconds to fully power down. Turn the machine back on and the credit card reader will begin working after 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay, so as the video mentioned, usually if there is going to be an issue, it is going to be like a connection issue through the router or the Wi-Fi. And you can call the 1-800 number if you're concerned and if you've already tried those steps of shutting down and restarting. Typically just shutting down and restarting will give it that reset and it'll reconnect on its own and it's good to go. But if not, you will have the numbers you need. One thing we want to make sure that all of our volunteers know, whether it's morning or evening, is that we never unplug the machine. There are a few items around the machine area that are decoration, large gift boxes that are lit up in bows. And the instructions will tell you at night to unplug those, but you never want to unplug the giving machines, because essentially if someone showed up late in the night after the shifts or on their way to work early in the morning before the volunteers are there, it's a vending machine, so they could truly make a purchase and make a donation right then and there. So we leave the machines on 24/7. If you see that the machine doesn't have any power, that might be the first thing you want to do, is follow that cord and just make sure accidentally a volunteer from the night before didn't make a mistake and unplug the machines, and plug them back in. Once you've plugged them back in, it should reset and it should be ready to go. If not, again, you can call for some help. So speaking of the other nighttime things, it's really the opposite of that morning. You're going to follow the checklist all the way through. If you have been busy and the machine looks like it needs to be cleaned and restocked, just about an hour into that 2-hour ending shift, you might want to do that cleaning and restocking and make sure it's ready. And then as you start to prepare to leave, you want to make sure that you place all the stanchions and items that we give you the instructions to do closer to the machine, essentially kind of closing the area, not necessarily blocking the machine. And then unplug the decorative gift boxes and those items that we have on the checklist to unplug, and put away all of those items for the tables and the photo area into the bin, into the wagon. And then just before you head off to the wagon to put everything away, you're going to want to make sure you hang all your lanyards back in the machine, including that one with the key, and lock the back of the machines. And then you can take the other items to the trailer, unlock the trailer, put those away, and lock it back up. We would love if everyone would just contact their stake lead at the end of the evening and let them know whether there were any issues or anything that we need to know. Maybe it's that we're running low on some stock for stickers and giveaway, or maybe it's that it seems like we're running low on cleaning towels or cleaning items. Let your stake lead know that, and then they will report that to us so that we can get those items there, or we can let the next shift, that stake lead know to just rest assured that we're going to be bringing those items. Okay, one of the things we want to make sure we talk about is how to help people have a meaningful experience in line. And this is pretty easy and pretty natural, and we've already talked about some of it. One thing we want to make sure that you know is that you do not need to dress up to be at the machines. In fact, casual dress is recommended because we want people to feel comfortable. Some of you will be coming before or after your church if you are working on a Sunday, and so it's completely okay to wear church clothes because you're coming straight there, or maybe you're coming straight from work, but you do not have to. And again, we encourage you to dress casual and comfortable. Dress for the weather, and we'll talk a little bit about that. While you're at the machine as a volunteer, do wear the Light the Volunteer lanyard. And that's not necessarily so that you can reach people or walk up to people. We want it to be natural, but it's so that they can find you and identify who could help them if they have a question. And so you're going to answer questions and offer help, but only when they need it. For example, we find that as people are curious, many people come to the machines knowing what it is. But there will be people shopping in the area that don't know what the Light the World giving machines are. And so if they walk up curious, they're going to look to you, or they're going to ask questions, and then of course give them, explain it, tell them what the machines are. You can tell them a little bit about the machines. We're going to have cards that have the layout of the machine with photos of the items and prices, and on the back of that is a QR code that you can invite them to scan, and while they're shopping the machine or while they're waiting in line, they can actually watch a video that describes a little bit about each of the charities, and those videos often invite them to go see their website. So you can talk a little bit about those, or you can offer that QR code. There are stickers that are Light the World stickers that you can give away to those who have visited at the machines. Of course, children love that, right? Stay near the machine, but you don't need to be right in front of it. One of the things we want to be really careful of is that we don't drag chairs over from the mall, leave their chairs where they are. And later we'll talk about what you can bring, and one of those is a chair, but just make sure you're not sitting right in front of the machines where people might decide to avoid coming to the machines because it looks like someone's there waiting to, sell them something, or maybe proselyte. And what we don't want to do is appear to be proselyting or proselyte. We just want to be there really focused on the Light the World initiative and the giving machines, and let people feel the spirit of Christ and the spirit of giving through that only. Okay, but there is something that you can do now. Before you even volunteer at the machines, we invite you to find our giving machine, specifically this Scottsdale Phoenix. They have their own Instagram and Facebook, and there's a statewide Facebook that we're a part of. So like it, follow it, and then also share with your friends, your family, your ward members. Maybe you're a seminary teacher, maybe you're a primary teacher, and invite all your primary families to come and see you while you're at the machine volunteering. And then of course, share on your social media that you're going to be at the giving machine, or while you're at the machine, take a memory picture and share it with people. Make sure you work with your ward and stake to invite and encourage members to become a part of the community following the machines, but also to come and see you at the machine. And then when you're at the machine, really encourage them to join in and share that light with their family and friends, even in other states. It's a lot of fun to follow some of the giving machines that are in other states and see just how much giving is happening. There may be some questions that you're asked at the machine. Oftentimes people will say, well, how do I pay? And the Light the World giving machines accept all major credit cards and debit cards, and you can see that here. One thing that it does not accept is if people are using the mobile pay that is the Apple Card. Without the phone, it will not work, or on the phone, it will not work. So they have to actually have the card or the actual Apple Pay in order for it to work. And if you have any issues with someone's card and you know that the machine is working but the card is not, one thing you can do if it's a compromised card, they can try it again, or let it sit and then try again, or they can use the 1-800 number and they can help you out with it. So again, if there's any questions, we will have these cards that are very specific for people to see and that you can read and look at if you have any questions on specifically a type of card or the mobile device they're trying to use. Often the question is, well, where does my donation go? And we want to make sure that we explain to them that 100% of their donation is truly used for that charity, for them to purchase those items. Now, those charities may have some overhead costs to ship and arrange for the items to get shipped or to there. For example, for years, one of the most popular items to purchase is chickens or goats. And there's going to be some overhead cost in getting goats actually to that country or those families that get those. But the church does not take any of the money that is related to the giving machine. In fact, the church covers all the costs for the machines. That includes the machines themselves, the materials, the flyers, all the things that are related. You can explain that as a volunteer. We all volunteer our time. And the church will actually even cover the processing fee. When someone's checking out, it asks them if they would like to add that to their donation and their tax receipt, and they have the option to say yes or no. If they choose to, that's wonderful. If they choose not to, the church covers that. So we also can let them know that the charities that are selected are vetted, and there is an entire process by which the Light the World Giving Machine Committee in Church has those charities vetted, and that they are committed to an accountability later after the monies are given to them. They have accountability to share with us later in the year exactly how the money was spent. They share the experiences at the time of donation, and all of that is tracked. So you can just assure them that the money that they're donating really does go penny for penny right to those items. Another reason that the machine is the way it is it's a secure machine. None of their information is stored. And that is why they only select or only take certain types of payment. And it's why nothing drops out for them to take with them. And we don't have any paper receipts that come out of the machine that they walk away with. When they're at the machine, they need to select after they've made their purchase. As part of that process, it asks them first if they'd like to pay the fee, and they can say yes or no. And then it will ask them just before it finalizes, do they want a receipt? And it asks them, do you want it texted or emailed? And they need to give the phone they want it texted to or the email address. And the actual tax receipt comes directly to their email or phone. There's no paper, there's no data, there's nothing stored in the machine. So another question they may ask you is their data safe? And it is, because it is essentially once the transaction is done, it is gone. It's not stored in the machine. Now, if someone's having an issue and they didn't get their receipt and they say, I need some help with this, you can call that 1-800 number and they can assist them in getting a receipt if needed. And then someone may say, I didn't plan on donating today and I'm not able to donate. You can direct them to the lighttheworld.org. There's ways to donate their time and service that way. They may not see the same charities, but they can donate that way. The other thing you can introduce them to is the Light the World initiative is also part of the Just Serve. And so you can introduce them to justserve.org or tell them a little bit about the Light the World calendars that they can find on the lighttheworld.org and just follow along with doing acts of service for people through this holiday season. Just to remind you, you won't need to memorize any of the information we just shared about credit card readers and all of that because it will be at the machine in the binder. And so we're going to really quick recap what's in the binder, which is there will be the cards that have all of the processes for opening the machine, cleaning the machine, and QR codes. The training for the machines will have a QR code there. And as you can see on the left of this screen, there is a process card for each of them items too. So you can follow checklist by checklist. We'll also have a map of the location showing us where the trailer is. It'll also have all of the updates that are happening from time to time. If as we make our way through the weeks, we add items to the steps or take away items that you will be doing. So everything you need to know about where to place the stanchions, where the table goes, what goes on the table, we're going to have pictures and examples of. So the binder will be very easy. And then last but not least, we'll have all of the contact numbers you need for your stake leads if you forgot to bring it, to contact us that are supporting US hosts or the Giving Machine 1-800 number, security, all of that. And so you essentially will just need to go to that and it will help you. A few more thoughts before we end. Thank you, first of all, for taking time to watch the video and familiarize with the machines. Some things to consider. Although it's a mall at the Desert Ridge marketplace and they have restaurants and food and drinks, you can bring some water and snacks for yourself. We don't actually share any snacks or food at the Giving Machine because we want to respect the restaurants and vendors that are nearby. Wear layers in case it's cold or dress for the weather. We actually have umbrellas at the machine and they're for two reasons. Should you forget your umbrella or guests not have umbrellas and it's raining. The other reason is depending on the angle of the machine at sunrise and sunset, the sun can be a little bit bright and it can hit that keypad in such a way that people have a hard time seeing. And so if you need it for shade, to shade that keypad while people are at the machine, there are red umbrellas there for you. Make sure that you bring your phone with you so that you can use those QR codes and also use your phone to contact us or the stake leads should you need anything. And although there are seating areas near across from the machine, you don't want to take those chairs. So if you want to be able to sit, bring some chairs. You can just set them off to the side in between the different areas off to the side of the machines and just have a seat and relax. There will be some shifts that will be very busy because it's higher shopping time, and other machines have quieter, other times of the day may be quieter, and you can feel free to do that. Also, each of the shifts will have anywhere from 2 to 6 volunteers at a time. The busier shifts will have 6. And it is okay for you to take turns rotating from the Tell Us Your Why table to the machines to the photo booth area. And you may be asked to help out if people come to do the entertainment. Maybe they're coming to sing or play some music and they're not quite sure where they're to be set up. You will have that map and so you can help them. They might not know where to plug in their device if they're using some sound, and you will know where because you'll have that map. So don't be afraid to help with that. Or also, if you notice that the sidewalk in the area where the machines are or the entertainment is getting a little bit crowded because people are standing to watch, we need to make sure that we can help the crowd tuck in a little bit and give some space so that people that are there shopping can continue to walk that path. It is the mall and they are being gracious hosts for us, so we don't want to affect their the shopping area or the experience of those that are there to shop. And of course, last but not least, we want to invite you to bring the spirit with you. Our Giving Machine goal for the year is to bring individuals and families to a place where they can have a positive experience with the spirit of Christmas and the spirit of the Savior who lights the world and is our example. And so we want to inspire communities to follow the second great commandment, love thy neighbor, through the Giving Machines. So just as you think about that, as we mentioned, we weren't proselyting, but just sharing that spirit of giving through serving people at the machines. We want to thank you for being willing to do that. We're excited for you and hope to see you while you're out there. as we mentioned, everything that we talk about today, we'll have a recap and some information that your stake leads will send you. You can re-watch the video if needed, but you'll have everything you need there as well. Thank you so much.